come back live. Okay, we're back. We're back. So we are back now. Thank you very much. Thank you for bearing with me. You are listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Today, we are talking about a very concerning issue. Nigeria, there has been so much terror people have been unaliving a lot of people in Nigeria. And I am doing this broadcast because I want to seek your opinion. I want to seek suggestions from people. I'm considering start doing a protest, peaceful protest at the Nigerian embassy in London, and I would want to encourage others around the world to do the same thing, to encourage us to do a peaceful protest outside the Nigerian embassy, not just in this country, but all around the world. We have had enough of the insecurity going on. Now we know that this insecurity is being controlled, engineered by Western countries, without a doubt. The instability that you see, a case in point, they talked about Ebola in a place in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Now, when you go and look at what is actually in that area is full of mineral resources. Why is it that Ebola seems to start in a place where there is a high concentration of mineral resources? So those mineral resources, suddenly they say they are going to close off that area from the people who have been living in that place. Now you cannot stay there because the Ebola started in that place, where they're going to move you out. Those who have never been in that area now come with their lab coats on and say they take the people out. And of course, in the place of that, they are closing off the area so they can get their hands on the resources. This is what is happening on a daily basis in Africa, right across the whole of Africa. We need to call this out. We need to call it out. So they use different tactics in different parts of Africa. So in Congo now, they're using biological warfare. This is biological warfare. Now, in Nigeria, they are now using terror to cause destabilization. Can you see that? And of course, in South Africa, what are they doing? They are causing immigration issue. You see, they are using different tactics. They are all one and the same. This goal is to continue to exploit and extract resources from Africa. You are listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Please do leave your comments. I'd love to hear your views. We are back on YouTube. Please go and give us a thumbs up, sign and share and subscribe. Let me please go ahead and share this broadcast. And of course, you can share that with me. So again, I'm saying it, in all parts of Africa, look at what they try to do in Mali. In Mali, they try to split Mali into 4 different nations, because they wanted to control the resources. Of course, they failed, because Mali, with the support of the AES, and this is why we need to learn strongly from what is happening with the AES, and Nigeria must learn from this. The AES has actually set up, they have 15,000 strong military force. And those forces, they came and supported Mali under General Assimi Goïta, which I salute him. I salute the courage of Mali. And Malians were fighting and protecting them. You see, they're still causing havoc in Mali, but they resisted. Now, the terror groups, Janim and others, are being funded by Western powers. Are we understanding this? I hope you're seeing all of this. They are playing, it is all one and the same. Now, in Sudan, we're going to go to Sudan. In Sudan, they're saying, there's a war, they're trying to fight and everything else, and they're saying that somehow what is being done is there is a lot of mineral resources there. And what they are doing is the West are again funding destabilization of the community, bringing in migrants, often Arabs. And then they're causing the JS, joint something, jump something, whatever they call them. And they have been unaliving so many indigenous Africans. All of this is to access mineral resources. So you can see that in Africa, they're using different tactics to cause unrest. Africa is a resource-endowed continent. No one on the African continent should be suffering. But because the colonials, with their listen, when I say colonials, I need you to have this in your mind. When I say colonials, you must have this in your mind. They are hydra-headed. Let me see if I've got a picture. Many of you would have seen. I'll see if I can find the post. They are hydra-headed. That is to say, the colonials are mainly three nations. They are UK, US, and France. So let me just quickly write this down. So greetings all. Please go ahead and please tap on the screen and share. Go ahead, go to my YouTube channel and subscribe and help us grow the platform. Greetings all. Please sign. Please subscribe. Sorry, that's 1 minute. So please subscribe. Please subscribe. Give me a minute, please. Okay. Like and share. Oftentimes TikTok tend to block me, so I'm rapidly just thinking that we'll be there. We'll use it when we can, but we are going to move our efforts onto YouTube because YouTube seems to be a little bit stable. Not that it's perfect 100%, but at least we get an idea. So, please subscribe, like, and share, and hit the notification button also. So, yeah, please, when you join me on YouTube, I'd like you to do 4 things for me. Number 1 is to subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. That's number 1. So, number 1, you subscribe to the channel. Number 2 is you like the channel. Number 3 is to share the broadcast to at least 10 people. Share to at least 10 people. And number 4 is to hit the notification button so that when I go live on YouTube, you will get notification and you can, of course, join me. So it is very important. And I also put for those who want to may find it difficult, I'll be putting in the subscription link. I'll put in the link so you can click on it and join on YouTube right there. There's many ways you can do it. If you just hit hit subscribe, it will come. But I'm just making it. I want to make it as user friendly as possible. So that's why I want the experience to work in that way. So just to recap, when you join us on YouTube, there's 4 things I need you to do. Number 1 is to subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. That's number 1. Number 2 is to like the broadcast. Give us a thumbs up. And number 3 is to hit the notification button. And number 4 is, of course, to share it. So when you're sharing it to 10 people, that way it will reach more people. Lynette Iyako, greetings and welcome to you. We are talking about the terror happening in Nigeria. And please, this is not happening only in Nigeria. They are different colonials are managing different parts of Africa, all in the aim of creating terror. So the US is heavily involved in Nigeria. They are involved in trying to destabilize the unaliving. There are some things the US have been raining weapons and things into areas, and they've been unaliving people. Innocent people have been unalived. That is not being recorded by nobody in the Western media is talking about that. That is the problem. So the US now, you can see they're saying they're coming to help Christians. They're not there to help Christians. They don't care. The US do not care about melanated Christians in the US, let alone they don't care about the melanated US Christians in the US. Yes, I said it. The rate at which melanated people, Black Americans, are being unalived on a daily basis. and they're Christians, many of them. But they're not looking to solve that problem. Why is it that the US is ignoring its own home-generated, home-created warfare against a group of people? And then they think they have the right to come and tell the rest of the world how to live. How is that? How is that right? There's only one thing they're doing. They're using that to do two things. They're using, oh, we're coming to help you, to destabilize that area so they can have access to the mineral resources. The same thing they're doing. You see, they're using military means to cause havoc in Nigeria. That's what they're doing. And then they're using biological warfare in Congo to chase the people away. That's why you have all this stuff about when they say, oh, there is what did you say, Ebola. That is a biological warfare, because the area in which that Ebola is suddenly happening is areas where there's a high concentration of mineral resources that the US wants. And this is not being spoken about by any of the mainstream media. And that is why we are doing programs like this. And we want to raise awareness about the injustice of those who are oppressing and suppressing Africans on a daily basis. Let me bring somebody in. Somebody wants to join me. Rastaman Buganda. Okay. I'll invite you in. Somebody has been throwing me an invite. Let me see if I can just answer. Sorry, I may not be seeing it. No, I'm not taking that right now. No. So I'll get people. Lynette, greetings to you, Lynette Nyako. So we have to understand that in different parts of Africa, they are theaters of exploitation. So like I said, in Congo right now, the Ebola is being used to keep people away from their own resources. This is biological warfare. And that is what the mainstream media will never tell you. And we have to be very aware of this. Please, as you're watching, share this broadcast. You are, of course, listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. We need your support. I had to come this morning, and I'm just touching on that briefly. Secondly, in Nigeria, they are using religious war in Nigeria. So you see, it's the same end, same means. All of it is to cause destabilization so they can have unfettered access to our mineral resources. And of course, you know that the rare earth minerals that the US was getting from China is no longer coming, because China have said, no, you're not going to get it. So they are looking at other means. So they are making sure that they destroy the lives of millions of Africans, and they don't face any consequences. From the days that they unalive Patrice Lumumba, the US has been a regular disruptor of the development and the stability of the whole of Africa. The US, the UK, and France, they have been the constant disruptor of the development of Africa. And we need to state this, but the mainstream media will not cover this. So the story they tell you about Ebola, and Ebola is a biological weapon that they created in a lab. Oh, it came from a monkey. Oh, was it the way? That's the same thing they said about the sea thing. And then we found out that it actually was in the lab. All of this was generated in the lab. So we have to be aware of this as Africans. We cannot allow this to keep going on. We need to follow the footsteps. Those of you who are on YouTube, you will see behind me, I've got Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso, Assimi Goita of Mali, and General Chiani of Niger. At the back of my screen. You won't see it on here because it's not, I haven't got it on here. But I've got the picture of what I wanted to talk about, which is the unaliving of so many people. The picture that you see on the screen, those of you on YouTube and on Facebook, TikTok, is this. Is a picture of two young boys. Two young boys. And they were abducted by terror groups. And these boys are not even up to 5 years old. And you know what they did to them? Not only were they demanding money for them to be rescued, but they were also physically harming defenseless children. I've been trying not to I've been looking at that picture. They're covered in literally bleeding. They are bleeding. We don't even know the picture. I can't show you it. I've had to blur it. I've had to blur the picture. That's why you see I'm not showing it in, because if I did, I wouldn't even be allowed to be on TikTok. I won't be allowed to be on TikTok. So please share this broadcast. Those of you that are on TikTok, help us reach more people. So this is harrowing. And all of this is being funded by these hydra-headed colonials. So like I told you, they're using biological warfare in Congo. They're using religious and ethnic warfare in Sudan. They're using, again, religious and ethnic warfare cloaked in, Christianity versus Muslim in Nigeria. In Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, again, it's a religious war they try to claim. So they were funding these colonials. The three they are hydra-headed colonials. There's three of them: UK, US, France. They are destabilizing and preventing Africa from developing. They are manufacturing poverty in a land of plenty. They are manufacturing poverty on the African continent where we are full of resources. And the reason why they're doing that is because they say that we Africans do not, in their opinion, because of what Pope Nicholas V told them, that they have the dominion over anywhere they go to and they conquer. That is their mentality till date. In fact, that is the foundation for all of the actions of the US. The US policy is that anywhere they go to, they have dominion over it. If you look at what is happening in Iran, that is the policy that they took. They said, no, Iran, they have oil, they will not benefit from that oil. It is only we who will benefit from that oil. Look at in Nigeria. Henry Kissinger's report, the 1974 report, came out and said, the resources in Nigeria must not benefit Nigerians. It is for us to benefit from. And everything that has been done, they have unalived so many African leaders. Patrice Lumumba, Amilcar Cabral, Olympio Sivio of Togo, Kwame Nkrumah was taken out of power. Gaddafi, Sekou Touré, so many, all of this, and it is the same policy. And it is time that we Africans understand that they are going to use different means. I told you about South Africa. This is engineered. Black South Africans have been so conditioned to accept their fate that they're saying, I saw a video yesterday, I wish I could show it, I'll do a program on that. They were saying that they are telling the colonials who still own 72% of their farmland that we don't want you to employ immigrants. We want you to employ us. And they've forgotten that Cecil Rhodes in 1897 said we should make it obvious to black people that they have no right to their land. We are going to move them away from their land. They will have no land. They will have to be laborers for the rest of their lives. In 1897, as I speak to you today, over 60-70% of the black population in South Africa are manual laborers, as intended by those whose ancestors are in Europe. Cecil Rhodes' birthplace is in Bishop Stortford in the UK. And they celebrate him. And the people, so the conditioning of the mind, we need to speak up about this as Africans. We need to speak up about this. And you know what is really painful about all of this? They destabilize the whole of Africa. And then they have the temerity to come and tell us, immigrants are coming into Europe. Well, what do you expect them to do? What exactly do you expect these people to do when you go and destroy their livelihood? Impose religion on them, use biological warfare, cause wars, use proxy wars. What do you expect from the people? What exactly do you expect from them? How are we supposed to survive? We're waking up to this. So please share this message. This is the hydra-headed beast. I call them that. They are UK. They are France. They are US. Wherever they've gone in the global south, they have caused nothing but disaster. They have caused nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing, in the 100 years that they've ever been in those places, but disaster after disaster after disaster after disaster. The same policy, this current group of colonials are practicing exactly the same thing that their ancestors did, and yet they tell us to forget the past. They are perpetuating the evils of the past on the people who they have gone to their land. They had no right to disrupt them, and they continue to do so. And unless you and I take control of this situation and raise awareness, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing on this platform. You will see me. I am translating the Constitution of Nigeria, because we have to confront these things into local languages, because we need our people on ground. It's not the voices of me and you alone who are on social media that will make this change, but it's on the ground. It is in those communities, getting them to understand what is being done to them, all in the name of democracy. These guys don't care. The US, you think that the US or France or UK care about democracy? You think they care about the rights of the people that they want to exploit? They don't want the people who they're about to exploit to know their rights at all. Because if they know their rights, they will not be able to exploit them. So what do? They create distractions. They create war. They create instability. They create famine. They are creating the horrible world that they now come and say, we are coming to help you. They are the ones who will create the problem, and they will come and say they have a cure. And the cure is always to keep you in there on your knees to never get up. That is why I salute Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso. I salute General Chiani of Niger. I salute General Assimi Goïta of Mali. They stood and they said, no more. As an African, I am no longer be on my knee. They said it is freedom or DEATH. And that is what we need to understand. We have to inculcate this to ourselves, in ourselves as Africans. Everything they've ever taught us, from religion to history to science to everything, whatever they have, philosophy, you name it, they have put Africans at the bottom of the pile. They have put Africans at the bottom of the pile. And we need to reject this. So, again, I'm saying this now. I'm going to African Revolution. Thank you. I'll bring you on board so you can speak up and join me. I'll bring others as well. Welcome, my brother. How are you doing? Greetings. Can you hear me?
Oh. Fortunately, I can. I have some free time to join you to this morning.
Yes, please go ahead. Go ahead.
Glad to do so.
Yes. Yeah.
And yes, the first thing that I wanted to say about what has been said so far is, first of all, that we are definitely under attack. This is a comprehensive attack.
Yes.
The African continent.
Yes.
And its peoples. And the attack comes precisely against the idea, the possibility that, Africa self-awareness reaches a point that people really will start, demanding that the leaderships that are sitting in our presidential palaces, that they will start to deliver, that their position that they, want so much is by no means secure.
Exactly.
People can overthrow you if
Yeah.
you don't do the necessary things.
Exactly.
What they fear the most is that people have this level of consciousness to understand exactly the machinations of the geopolitical and economic entrapments that we are subjected for too long, and people understanding how, for example, the importance of putting yourself into an industrialization process.
Yeah.
Which requires you having control of all your resources and adding value to processing with your own systems that you made in place. This is the whole objective, to bring Africa out of the bottom of the global hierarchy. And as this is becoming a possibility, a reality, which is something that is like lumbering into the backyard of their thinking, of the imperialist thinking, they risk that to happen right after the The first freedom fighters were aiming exactly at that point.
Uh-huh.
We were at a point where if the Casablanca current of the African Union won, we would have an African federation today. Imagine how difficult it would be to them to manage and exploit an African United Federation compared to, exploiting the different little states that emerged from the Monrovia point of view of African Union.
Yes.
And that makes us so vulnerable today. We have, this France Africa meeting, Italy Africa meeting, UK Africa meeting,
Yeah.
Turkey Africa meeting, South Korea Africa meeting,
Indeed.
Russia Africa meeting, China Africa, everything.
It's about control.
We are negotiating like, little countries who have basically little to no leverage power, while we should negotiate with such, economic hegemons or geopolitical hegemons.
Yeah.
Like, a bloc which already had met its own meetings among ourselves to decide a strategy. What are the shared common points
Yes.
that we want to address and resolve?
Indeed.
And go there and put all our combined leverage against these hegemons. This is what we should do.
It is.
But we are failing to do so. We are, the African leaders are ready to participate in any of
It's sad.
continent meetings.
It's sad.
But I hardly see African leaders, meeting beginning from their own initiative
Yeah.
to address African problems and find a Pan-African solution. And I mean, Pan-African is not, I remember that,
Yeah.
it's not just, open borders, we
Yeah.
love each other, it's not so simplistic, it's not
No.
such idealistic.
No.
It's a strategic necessity.
It is.
So for Pan-African, I mean, to understand, to put what is dividing us aside for the moment and concentrate in the common issues that we have and solve them.
Exactly.
That will be the platform to start and solving our problems.
Yeah.
So yes, we are on the as you stated, biological warfare.
Yes.
Also, ethno-religious
Warfare.
attack, warfare, and also, economic and ideologically, we are also under attack.
Yeah.
With what is happening, for example, in South Africa. And I'm so sad to see also here in the comment section that there are still people who are here basically to, just banter or attack other
Yes.
poor people.
Exactly.
I remind to everyone listening, and this comes from my experience with migratory background, I'm living in the diaspora. The source of your problem, if you are, we are basically all poor people. The locals, just make this example with South Africans,
Yes.
and the African migrants who come in there. We are all poor people. Okay. So if poor people, we also has no bread.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you are, attacking them because you also have no bread.
Mhm.
But if he also has no bread, he is not the source of your problem.
Yeah.
Maybe the source is the people with all the bread.
Yeah.
The people who manufacture, processing the bread
Mhm.
and selling to you
Mhm.
for the prices that of their choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a correct way to see
It is. No, well said. Thank you so much. And honestly,
And also, I will add, also from the point of view of the rest of Africans.
Yes.
Just attacking ordinary South Africans because of their xenophobic attitude is also not constructive.
Exactly.
The problem is always the source, the one who are controlling everything.
Exactly. Exactly.
Very much.
Thank you. Wow. Thank you for that. Honestly, African revolution is honestly, I really enjoy when you come on, you speak succinctly about the points and you focus on the real issues, and I hope many people can do the same and make sure we keep on the topic. It's not, when I speak to South Africans, what I try to do is not to sort of abuse them, because they've been mentally destroyed as a community. An entire population, black population, have been conditioned to accept that they don't have a connection to their land. That is they are just like the Nicholas V intended when he said that you can go over to those lands, you take the land from them, and you make them bend to you, and they serve you, and they don't have the right to their land. And that is exactly what he's doing. What's happening to South Africans? South Africans, the black South Africans, are so conditioned that they are begging, they are bending to They're bending to to the will of the colonizers. And I keep saying it. Cecil Rhodes is a colonizer. His birthplace is in Bishop Stortford in United Kingdom. There is zero connection between Bishop Stortford and South Africa. He is that connection. He came there. He is an immigrant. And then he drove the people, many of them by the Land Reform Act of 1897, drove Africans away from their land and then made them menial laborers all the way from 1897 till date. So there is a part of me that fully understands that the plight of South Africans, because they've been conditioned generation to generation to generation. They've been conditioned to accept that they will own no land. And they were even going to the South Africans and white South Africans who still own 73% of the farmland and of course the mineral resources. And they are saying to them, please don't employ foreign black immigrants. Employ us instead. So this is Stockholm syndrome. This is literally Stockholm syndrome that they're going through, and we have to really try and work to wake them up. Please, those of you that are watching, TikTok have actually suspended gifting, so you may not be able to gift. You may not even be able to share. So that's why I keep saying, please go to my YouTube channel, Citizen AY. Just hashtag CITIZENAY and join me there and subscribe. 4 things I want you to do when you join me on YouTube. Number 1 is to subscribe. Number 2 is to give us a thumbs up, like the broadcast. Number 3 is to share the broadcast. And number 4, finally, is to hit the notification button. That way, when I go live next time on YouTube, you will definitely see me. Please, there's somebody, let me read some things from Jerry Kofia. He says, Africa is definitely under attack from different sides. And greetings, and then greetings from Africa. Okay, Rafi, okay. African, it's you. Wow, thank you. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you. And you see, that's exactly, this is what African Revolution has just done there. That's exactly what I need you to do. Because, like I said, every few minutes I keep getting a warning sign from TikTok. Oh, your broadcast has been, you're not following community guidelines. Please, anybody that's watching African Revolution, have I used any swear word? Have I broken any rules in what I've said? Have you had me say anything negative in any way?
No.
I've not
stated that you are one of the most, TikTok-friendly language users that I see in the whole platform.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I don't think also that the topics that you are, addressing, and also the way you are addressing, cannot be harmful by any metrics.
Exactly.
There's no reason that this should be seen as something, harmful to people, to youth, even, or everything.
Yeah. No, it's okay. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. And guys, we need to really make sure we continue this work, because thank you so much, Africa Revolution, Jerry Coffee 8, on YouTube. So please, everybody that's watching, do the same thing. Go to my YouTube channel right now and subscribe, because TikTok, they're making things really difficult for me on TikTok. But I'm not going to give up. We are on YouTube right now, live, and you can join us there. What I'm trying to do, just a quick segue. What I'm really trying to do in Nigeria in particular, and I'm Nigerian, so I'm not going to shy away from saying that. I just want people to be aware of that. I am Nigerian. Let me see if I can show. Would that show? I want to make sure they can see what I'm showing you. So those of you on TikTok, I have this booklet that I've written up. It's about the Nigerian Constitution. Key sections of the Nigerian Constitution I've put in this booklet in my local language to reach 30 million Yoruba speaking. At least we have conservative estimate is between 60 to 80 million Yorubas in the southwestern Nigeria. So, but what I am hoping to do is in the villages and the towns in where the terror group has been operating now, unaliving so many people, the people feel helpless because they don't know their rights in their own language, because the Constitution of Nigeria is written in the language of the colonials. You see, there you go again. They say, oh, they're putting you together. And the language that they will put to rule over you, when you speak a foreign language over you in your land, that language is controlling your fate. It's deciding the fate of you and your people. So what we need to do, this is why I'm doing this. I have spoken to people in other parts of Nigeria, and I've encouraged them, and I'm trying to still do that, to actually translate key sections like I've done into the language of the communities, so the people in those communities will know the laws that they are being governed by and the powers they have to play a role in their governance. So like I said, this booklet needs to reach 30 million people, roughly 30 million people, young and old, so that they can know what the constitution of the country says and the powers they have as sovereigns to participate in their governance. So I'll give you one example. In Nigerian constitution in English, they say section 14(2)(a) states, sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers, all its powers. Greetings, the notifier queen. Greetings to you. Thank you. I'm going to just quickly, I'm pinning your comment there, and I'm going to, on YouTube, greetings. It's a pleasure having you join us. So let me, I think I've pinned the message. Yes. So let me just quickly answer her. 1 second. So I'll read that. I'll restate that key section of the Constitution. And this is why, by me stating it, it will be apparent that the people don't know what it means, because the Constitution is written in English and it is designed that way. This is part of the structure. What I've noticed is that the Constitution of almost all African countries are written in 3 languages: in English, in French, and Arabic. And in most of those countries, all of those countries, those people, those languages is not their first language. And they say, oh, it's because we want them to have one language together. What they are not telling you is that they are controlling the communities by doing that. That is a control. Language is a control tool. When you are speaking a foreign language over your land, they are ruling your land. Be in no doubt about that whatsoever. So this is why we're trying to change that. And the thing is, when people don't speak, when people who are in the communities, oftentimes there are people who live all their lives in the villages, and they never ever speak any other language. So whatever they're told about their laws is what they will believe, because they have not been given the opportunity to actually be able to learn about their rights in their local language. You know, this is really important. So,
Can I say something?
yes, go ahead.
The Nigerian Constitution.
Yes,
Because what you say that, because actually I think it is something common in most African constitutions.
that's what I meant. Yes,
States that the people is free, is self-sufficient,
mm-hmm.
and also that the resources are belonging to the people.
Mm-hmm.
Most of African constitutions states that, and so given that most of our politicians, not just Nigeria, it's most of Africa.
No, it is. Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Basically everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And doesn't that make them basically traitors? And
Yes.
so what should be the punishment for treason?
Well,
high treason
the-
in these countries? Because we
Exactly.
deal with this, our political class, and we treat them as they are legitimate,
Yes.
while they are not delivering even what they themselves, even if maybe dictated by their masters or something
Yes.
like that.
Indeed.
They themselves that written and signed those constitutions.
Indeed.
They swear on these constitutions,
Mhm.
uphold them.
Mm-hmm.
And so if they are not delivering, if they are, it's not that they didn't are able to, they are not able to.
Mhm.
It's more that they are actually, betraying and hijacking the countries from what is intended as they should be functioned by their own constitutions.
Mm-hmm.
And this makes them actual active traitors.
Mm-hmm.
And actually
Exactly.
This is one important point that I wanted to
It is. Thank you very much for that. It's a very, very important point you said, actually. And look, these guys, they are puppets of the West. Many of the so-called African leaders are puppets of the West. And of course, when you're a puppet, it means you're a traitor to your people, because you've forgotten your people. The reason why you became a puppet is because the colonials have given you sweeteners. They've been able to fool you with gifts, papers, paper. Look, the currency is just pure paper. It's not backed by anything. Just look at what is happening with the US. The US currency right now. The currency is worthless. It's just backed by nothing. It's not even backed by gold because they don't have it. And what we found out, what we've been uncovering, is that many of the Western countries say that they have gold reserves, and oftentimes it's actually one gold reserve that they've all have together, and they're putting it in their bank account on paper. Oh, in their vault on paper. They don't have the actual physical gold. This is all trickery. So many of those currencies, they are based is based on imaginary figures plucked out of the air. And we in Africa, we have the resources in abundance. We have the gold, we have the diamond, we have the, you name it, it's all there. And what they've been doing, they've been using all of these systems to fool our leaders. Oh look, I'll give you billions and billions of dollars. But those leaders forget that the same people that put billions and billions of dollars with zeros, many zeros behind your number, when they want to turn around and just dump you, i.e. a la Mobutu Sese Seko. Yes, that one. Remember that one that worked with Eisenhower to unalive Patrice Lumumba? When the time came, he had health issues, no funds. US wasn't anywhere to be found. Oh no, he died, and look at his property. Look at what the so-called, have you seen the palace that he built? It's all a ramshackle right now. So that is the fate of traitors. So many African leaders are nothing but puppets of the West and traitors of their own people. So that's, and both sides, both on those coins that are the two sides of those coins, none of it is good. None of it is representative of what they should be doing. And the leaders that try to do the good things and work for the people from day one, Amilcar Cabral, Patrice Lumumba, Gaddafi, those leaders, these people have taken their lives and they have paid zero consequences. You know what is sickening about this? Is these colonials. They have taken the lives of so many African leaders. And they've paid zero consequences. Either financial, morally, socially. No, they bore no consequences for their actions over the last 50 years. Zero. They have not faced any successive from Eisenhower up downwards. They have taken the lives of Africans, which means whatever they're telling you about democracy, it's just talk. The real action is for them to have unfettered access to our resources and to deny us access to our resources. They've made themselves gods in our own land. In the land of plenty, what should rightfully belong to Africans, they've made theirs, and they are leaving Africans in destitution, in poverty, in famine, in war, biological warfare. That's what's going on. And we need to wake up and speak up about this. This is the time to do it. Support Ibrahim Traore. Support Assimi Goïta. Support General Chiani. Assimi Goïta right now, he's under. They set a market on fire in Bamako because they are trying to destabilize. But still yet, what they're doing right now in Mali, they've built their own drones, locally made drones, and they're using it. They didn't think this was going to happen in Sahel. They thought they would continue to just exploit the Sahel, take the uranium from Niger, take the gold from Mali, take the whatever for the gold from Burkina Faso, take everything and then pay peanuts. And they were just going to be, enjoying, and that is their vision. But this young man, Ibrahim Traore, he saw his dad. His dad was in the army. And then he started learning something about what was going on. And then he saw the difficulty of the life they were living. And not just himself. He wasn't looking at self. He was looking at his people. And he said, you know what? This is the time for us to make change. We are not going to be on our knees. It is freedom, or DEATH, for us. We are the land of the upright speaking people, upright man. And just like Thomas Sankara, he imbibed the vision of Thomas Sankara. This is something that is, I almost think that is a reincarnate of Thomas Sankara. Salute to Thomas Sankara. You know, the way he speaks, the commitment he has to his people. And that commitment is evidenced by what you see in Bobo Dioulasso right now. I think it's Bobo Dioulasso, if I'm saying it correct. The largest hospital in West Africa is in Bobo Dioulasso. And let me just take a second to just talk about that. Let us think about this. The largest hospital in West Africa is in Bobo Dioulasso, in Burkina Faso. And he just took over power in just 2022. 3 years. Now, let us now go and make comparison with Nigeria. My Nigeria, because I'm Nigerian. As I speak to you, there is no comparable hospital anywhere that matches what the state-of-the-art hospital that is built, that Ibrahim Traore built using state money to build. And what is sad about it? Nigeria, we like to say, the Nigerian government, they've been told by the colonials to say, we're the largest, most populous nation in Africa, we're the giant of Africa. The giant of what? Nigeria is nothing but a giant slave camp. Until we, the people, benefit from our resources, Nigeria is nothing but a slave camp, because it is a place where people who have plenty are denied access to those resources. And thankfully, the blueprint for what we need to do, we are being shown by this young man, 36-year-old Ibrahim Traore. Salute to him. And we need to make sure that we sing his praises, we talk about him, we never be quiet about him. The mainstream media, they will never talk to you about the fact that he's built the sophisticated, largest West African hospital, largest hospital in West Africa. And you know what is also great? He said that the hospital is for the people of Burkina Faso and also West Africans. So as a West African, you can go and get treatment in Burkina Faso. But yet, the West will tell you, oh, they're putschist, oh, they're military. What the democracy that the West have put in place, what have they built for the people of West Africa right now? What has this democracy? Have they built you hospitals? Are you able to get free hospitals in the democracy to talk about? Is your country safe? Are you able to sleep comfortably? Do you have jobs? Do you have schools for your children? Do you have light? In the democracy, the so-called democracy that they're building, they tell you that they're building for you. You're not benefiting from any of these things. But in Burkina Faso, that they are trying to destroy till tomorrow, and Mali, the development that is going on there, it has been unheard of. In 40 years, the development that has happened in the last 3 years has been nothing unheard of in 40 years of French colonization. And yet, many African leaders are going to a meeting with a colonial, one of the hydra-headed colonials, telling you, you must come under our yoke, and we will tell you your future, and you must bow, and we will talk to you like children, and you will say yes sir, and you will jump. Salute to Ibrahim Traore. Salute to Assimi Goïta. Salute to General Chiani. The nuclear, the uranium in Niger, till tomorrow, France is fuming because it was powering. They were getting the nuclear, the resources for that from Niger at 70 cents in the euro, something that is worth over 200, I think, 200 euros per kilo. Do you know some interesting fact? I'm still going to come back to this because it's still in my mind. Interesting fact for you. You know the nuclear bomb in Hiroshima and all that. Guess where the resources came from? Go check it. Guess where the resources came from? It came from Africa. You see, this thing has been going on for a long time. They have been unaliving, oppressing, and suppressing Africans for a long time on the African continent. And let me say this. If any African were to be doing the same thing on Europe, I would be the first to say, no, this is wrong. And I would fight vehemently against this. So before anybody starts telling me I'm feeling sorry and everything else, this is injustice first. And what is wrong is that the inhumanity and the continuation of such injustice for the people who are carrying out this daily injustice tell us to forget about the past. When they are dependent, their very actions is dependent on using the past actions of their ancestors and repeating the same steps to keep us on our knees. We need to speak up about this as Africans. I am speaking fairly. There are some Europeans who are speaking up about the injustice. And salute to them. There are people who I follow online and they do this. And it's a good job. And they need to do that in their community. They have to do. We need more of them to do that. To change this mindset. This winner takes all mentality. Using KILL, STEAL, KILL, steal, deceive to win. This mentality of winner takes all it's a sickness. It's a sickness because to now perpetuate poverty in the land where there's the land of milk and honey in Africa on the people that are there and not have a humanity in your soul for the people who you are doing this and not even and train your coming generation. This is the thing that is happening in all these colonial nations. They are training their unborn to have the same mentality. So they are damaging themselves from the inside. They think they are winning. But look at what is happening all over Europe now. Look at what is happening. They are recognizing the oil crisis has opened their eyes now to understand where the real power lies. I'll pause for a second on that because I want to talk about Dangote in that and what they were saying recently. But let me just quickly read about this, the Constitution of Nigeria and why I need your support. Those of you watching me on TikTok and on YouTube, please subscribe. Don't forget, give us a thumbs up as you're coming in. The more you give us a thumbs up, the more it will reach more people. It's very, very important. We need your support. You are, of course, listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Now, the key thing, very much like African Revolution said, and those of you, if you do want to join me on TikTok, just throw me say a word. I'll try to read as many comments as possible. I see quite a lot of comments going through, and I'll try and answer some. So, but we, I will answer you. And if I see the sign that you just press the button, then I'll bring you up and you can speak. Because we need, listen, each and every one of us as an African, we owe it to ourselves to participate in this process. We owe it to ourselves to make sure that we pass this message on to our communities. And particularly on ground, the revolution will never be televised. The revolution will not be televised. The real revolution has to happen in those communities, and that is what they are afraid of. So, let me just say this now. The Nigerian Constitution, for example, states, Section 14(2)(a), sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria from whom the government through this constitution derives all its powers and authority. That's what it states in English. Now, if you go to a market, there are many market women who sells wares. There are farmers who take their stuff from the farm to the market. And by the time they get from the market, from their farm to the market, 50% of their crop has been destroyed because of the bad roads. Literally, 50%, maybe even more. They are making loss hand over fist. And many of these African farmers do not get any subsidy whatsoever. In fact, the policy of the IMF and World Bank is to tell African leaders to not subsidize their farmers because the policy of the IMF and World Bank is to benefit European farmers, to benefit American farmers, to benefit Canadian farmers. But no. African, again, you can see the mentality. And on every issue that you mention, Africa is being deliberately put at the bottom of the pile. Never to have manufacturing base. Religion, to see yourself as a slave in that religion. History, to see your history as serving theirs. Science, to see yourselves as below them. Everything has been done to nail us to the ground. It's time we woke up. And I am so glad we have Ibrahim Traore. And long may he continue. And I for one, want him to be in position as the president for the next 10, 15 years straight. And the people of Burkina Faso have said that. Mali, they're saying the same thing with Assimi Goïta, General Chiani, the same thing. Because what they're doing, when they walk around, when you just need to see when they walk around. Look at this is real emotions. When you go to these Western countries, you see the fakeness of their applaud, the fakeness of the warmth that they're showing. There's always a barrier between them and the people. But these guys are walk around. The people are guarding. As I speak to you in Burkina Faso, the people of Burkina Faso, when they hear there's any attempt on Ibrahim Traore, they are going to all of the roundabouts. They are watching and protecting that man. You see, that is something that the West cannot stop. And that bugs them. And we need to speak about this. We must speak about this. We must make sure that we don't allow any of this to go, any of these great stories of theirs to be buried under the lies of the mainstream media. The mainstream media has fed us all with lies about who we are, about our history, about our achievements, about ourselves, to literally hate ourselves. Take the case of South Africa. South Africans, black South Africans, 70% of the population are in manual labor in their own land, the land where they've got riches, untold riches. I say this and I maintain it. On the African continent, there should be nobody in poverty. Zero. All 1.4 billion of us. There should be nobody in poverty. The poverty that we are facing in Africa is engineered by the colonials, the three hydra-headed colonials, the hydra-headed beasts, who are intent. They're doing everything in their power to make sure that we never ever develop, and that's why they're angry at Dangote. I've got concerns with Dangote at a certain level about things, but principally, he's getting the picture. He's seeing that now. Those he called friends in the West, he knows that they are sharks after his people, after his land, after his resources. And they're showing him. He's now seeing. I hope he learns, and I hope others will learn that in Africa, we have to do for self. We have to build Africa for Africans. And there's nothing, we should be unapologetic about ensuring that Africans benefit from African resources. Totally unapologetic. Totally. Stand fully on that. Now, just go back to the thing I was saying. So, Section 14.2 of the Nigerian Constitution is in English. Like I was saying, the ladies and the farmers, again, like I said, the farmer will take his crop. The road they take to the crop to the farm is so bad. 50% of the crop is destroyed. So when they come to sell, they're trying to sell. They don't have any idea what I just said means. They have zero idea. When I say, Section 14.2, the sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives of the powers of the sovereign. It is gibberish. Okay, is that what you say? Oh yes, we are. And the politicians know this. Like African Revolution said, the politicians are traitors. They know what the book says, but because they've been told, okay, if you do this for me, I will give you this. I will put money in your bank account in Switzerland. Then they'll do that, and they sell their own people. They are traitors. They are traitors. You will see them. All of those that went to that meeting with Macron, who was saying he's a Pan-Africanist, Pan-African is my foot. They are traitors. I'm sorry to say it. They are traitors to the African land. Let me accept Luya. Okay, I'll accept Luya. So let me accept.
Meanwhile, since I wanted to add.
Yes, go ahead.
What that mockery scene, that actually it is an insult to the intelligence of
Thank you.
all of Africa. For Macron to say, I'm a Pan-Africanist.
Thank you.
We know, especially the Francophone-speaking countries of Africa, they know very well what France means terms of exploitation. France put in place one of the most, rigid and brutal exploitation schemes after the so-called nominal independence that they gave us. Even earlier, they were not the best, the most friendly of the colonialists. They were brutally exploitative in their African policies.
Yes.
And this fact that there are still leaders, because if we know, I'm pretty sure that they too know very well about that, the mechanism of France African stuff. And so to them,
Ooh, what happened, brother? Sorry, go ahead.
military bases and the security apparatus, it is, it is treason not just against their own people, their own citizens, but it is a treason for all the Africans, for the black man in the world. This is the level of treason that they are pushing now. And the fact that I was following very recently a debate in a platform here on TikTok, and they were debating about the incoming Nigerian elections, and the fact that most of the people is still in the frame of, okay, this political party will do good things for Nigeria, this other political party will do, this leader will do, this other leader will do, and while it's failing to challenge and contest the fact that it is the whole system of how the architecture of Nigeria, which is the same of basically all of Africa,
Yes.
which is wrong, which is not delivering. How can you expect democracy from a ballot which is decided by who gives the largest bags of rice around the country before the elections? That makes no sense. The salvation can never come from that system.
Yes.
We have to replace the whole thing. Is what we have to do. And to replace it, it means that what you have to demand very harshly from the leadership that you are going to install. It's not matter if it would be civilian, military, whatever. The point is that whoever sits in the seat of the position of power in any African country should, make the strategic steps to free Africa from the bottom of the global hierarchy and reposition it in the center. So look after your own, your fellow African presidents in the continent.
Yes.
We all share the same, structural imbalances, and start to address that. Maybe with the Pan-African strategies, which is the only thing that we have not attempted, comprehensively, consistently, and collectively enough. We had, some attempts like the Ghana-Guinea Union or the Ghana-Guinea-Mali Union, the Senegambia Union or stuff like that.
Very.
But this is like experiments who were not properly led, and most important for all, for the ones who are properly led, they are not allowed to stay.
No,
basically.
no, they are not.
Came, sea operations came, all this stuff.
Yes, indeed. Well said. And look, and I hope many people are listening to what you're saying. They are playing a game with us. They're literally toying with us. And for how long are we going to continue to accept this? I, for one, think we need to be very, very clear that our salvation lies in our own hands. It doesn't lie with those who colonize us. The people who colonize and continue to oppress and continue to colonize us now will never give us the room to free ourselves. We have to do exactly what Ibrahim Traore did in Burkina Faso, what Assimi Goïta did in Mali, what General Chiani did in Niger, to free ourselves and to rebuild our people from within. Because we've been broken. The system requires us to turn on ourselves, to hate ourselves, so that they can dominate, to accept that them being our overlords is something that we should aspire to. And that is a tragic place for us to be as a people. We need to wake up from that. Thank you so much for that again. Let me just state again, section 14.2c. The reason I'm saying that now, and I want to make it clear, you will have the same example, very much like African Revolution said, in other areas of Africa. 1426 states sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through its constitution, derives its powers and authority. The market woman will not understand what I just said. It makes no meaning, because she's buying and selling. She gets her goods. She has to. Some market women, you know, let me take this minute to acknowledge African women, African moms. Thank you. Thank you. Your sweat, as I'm saying it, I'm getting emotional actually. Your sweat. I've seen women who are selling ice, Coke, Fanta. They've used that money to send their children to school to become graduates. And the system oppressed them. Farmers who are living in the, in the village, they send their children to become, from that toil in the land of plenty. And they didn't know what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying they don't know. They don't know what I'm saying here. They don't understand that they have rights over their land, because they've been conditioned year after year to accept whatever they're told by the colonials. The colonials tell the puppet, you say this, or you don't get that, or we take you out. John Perkins said it. Diary of an economic hitman, they call him. They take out leaders that fight. But not in this time with Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traore, Assimi Goïta, General Chani. No way. So, anyway, the reason I'm saying when I talk about market women, they really mean something to me, because my mom is an African. I was, and my grandma, and they would sell. My grandma was selling. She would make bean cake on the side of the road, and I ate from that when I was young. I know I am connected to the soil, but you know something? I wasn't born in Nigeria. I was born in Europe, but my grandma taught me my language. So when you see me write this and translate this constitution, sections of it, it's down to my grandma. She means a lot to me, a whole lot, and I always think about it. But for her teaching me the language, I probably wouldn't be here, be able to talk to my people. So grandma, now, anyway, that's just me. So African women, and we need to do a better job. As African men, we owe it to ourselves to build a foundation for them to enjoy the resources in their land. Very much like Ibrahim Traore. Have you noticed when Ibrahim Traore goes to speak to farmers, or the women cleaning the streets, he shows them so much respect. He shows them so much respect. I'm shocked that someone who's 36 years old has so much humility in him. Just looking at what he's achieved. Some others will go, oh, I'm now the president of Burkina Faso. You do this. He gives them time. That's a leader. That's a leader worth fighting for. Those are the leaders we want in Africa. Never forget that. Those are the leaders we want in Africa. So I'm passionate about Ibrahim Traore. He's showing the coming generation what it means to lead. It means to never forget your roots. To remember and understand the struggles that you went through wasn't necessary, but it was imposed on you by colonials. And you must do everything in your power to free your land. Burkina Faso, or DEATH. It is so. So, going back to what I was saying. So, it is important. Market women don't understand when I say that. Now, if I say it in my language, which my grandma taught me, and I'm happy to say it, I'm going to read it because I translated it into this language and I need your help. It says, Abala Kerila Esekeji A Ìjọba jẹ́ ti àwọn ènìyàn Nàìjíríà láti ọ̀dọ̀ ní ìjọba nípasẹ̀ òfin orílẹ̀-èdè yìí ń gba gbogbo agbára àti àṣẹ rẹ̀. Now, you won't understand what I just said there. But the market women, the farmer, yes, the security, the vigilante man coming from the village to the bush, the people who are washing clothes, they will understand what I just said. They will know I have just told them that they have the power to hold their government accountable. That they have the power, ultimate power over their land. Because why? I said it in their local language. And in knowing this, they can now begin to speak and hold their elected officials accountable by just saying those words. You see, our language is powerful. That's where I'm going. Our language is powerful, and we need to use it. No matter how small the community, even if they say there are only 5,000, they must know this in their language, because they will get what they need. They will get what they need. We've been conditioned with all of this religious nonsense. Every time you're following that religion, they're putting you at the bottom of the ladder in your land. The religion is designed to put you at the bottom of the ladder in your land, so you never ask for your rights. You're busy fighting about the religion when those the same people who give you that religion, they come to your land, take your resources, and keep you impoverished. That's what we are facing in Africa. That's the reality we are facing in Africa. I'm sorry, it is painful to see this happening. When I came to the realization that religion was being used to trick me and my family and my entire continent, I realized that it wasn't about just getting angry and lashing out. We have to devise a plan to free our people. And it's not one person who will do this. It's all of us. So when I say, please support me in getting this booklet to 30 million Yoruba speaking people. And we need to get people who we are going to train to know to say those words. And by the way, I'm not saying this to attack the government. I'm saying the government of the day says they are working for the people, then the people must know their rights in their local language. There is nothing wrong in saying that, and I stand by that. And I will stand anywhere and say that. So this booklet is something that I didn't even know I was capable of doing it until it happened. Then I realized, okay, because I was talking about it, and now it is here. And we can add more. I will be able to add more and more sections of the Nigerian Constitution to it, translated, so that the people can use it in the community and be independent. The objective of this pamphlet, or this booklet, is to make sure that every community can independently hold their government accountable. Right now, they don't know their rights all over Africa, and it's being used as the very thing to oppress them. And not only oppress them, to get them off their land. As we speak to you now in Nigeria, there is so much unaliving that's been done by the proxies of the West. Whole communities have gone off, they've been chased off their land. In Kwara State alone, over 20 communities have fled because of terror groups going to the community, unaliving so many people. They literally left because many of them did not know that they had the right to hold their government accountable. They left, and they're going to be in displaced camps, living in other, living in from hand to mouth, in a land of plenty. And the areas that they went to, let me say this, the areas that these terror people have gone to is full of mineral resources in Nigeria right now.
Exactly. That's one thing I wanted to underline, because there is this, I don't know if you know this
Sorry.
David Hundeyin.
Yes.
Which is also from Nigeria.
Yes.
He made basically a study about it, where there are the areas most affected by the groups attacks and displacement. And if I'm not wrong, there are something like 7 million people in the IDP camps.
That's correct.
Nigeria.
Yes.
Like that.
Yes.
7 million.
Yes.
So it's basically the number of inhabitants of the region where I live in Italy.
Yes.
Basically.
Exactly.
The number is something like 9 million.
Exactly.
And so all these people displaced from areas, and if you go and see, make a comparison areas where most of the critical rare earth mineral resources in particular
Mm-hmm.
are located in Nigeria,
Mm-hmm.
which is mostly in the Middle Belt region,
Mm-hmm.
for what I understand.
Yeah.
These are exactly the areas that they are most affected. So even these two groups,
Mm-hmm.
it's even wrong to assess them as a religious problem, as they are acting with a religious justification, but they are moving and implementing a plan which comes from the big capital.
You got it.
It is all these multinational that wanted to extract more resources freely from Nigeria, because once you displace the community, and there is nobody claiming their right to that land, and so the land is free for whatever
Exploitation by others.
exploration, whatever pollution that they want to make in order to make their damn profits by extracting raw materials.
Exactly. Exactly.
This is how we have to see the things, because I see we Africans have the tendency of address a lot of things dominantly through our religious lens or
Yes.
spiritual lens.
Yes.
But actually, there is nothing spiritual here.
Thank you.
Economic, it's all about profit. It's all about the architecture of this system, which is, I want to stress this thing, it is parasitary in nature.
Yes.
If you see the definition of a parasitary relationship in biology, you will have, a being who, in order to survive,
Mm-hmm.
takes resources from another being
Mm-hmm.
without giving anything in return.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Tell me if this is not exactly the behavioral pattern of this current economic system, colonial imperialist system that we are living
Exactly.
on right now.
Exactly.
So we have to be aware of these things
Mm-hmm.
and understand. Always follow the capital. Also, double check data.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we can't be judge things by the surface only, because the surface is how they have packaged it.
Thank you.
How they have branded it, and how they are selling it to us to see through their own lens, exactly
Yeah.
as they have, plan to do.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to dig, we have to be analytic, we have to be less emotional as possible, because a lot of things that are happening in Africa
Yeah.
are, highly emotional.
Very.
Just look at the xenophobia attacks in South Africa.
Oh my
Of
gosh.
course, it's emotional.
Yeah.
The people will concentrate on that, but will miss, for example, that in the same country,
Mm-hmm.
Malema have been sentenced for 5 years in prison.
Yeah.
And Kemi Seba was actually in prison in
Yeah.
the same South Africa.
It was.
But no one is seeing that.
No.
Everybody was talking about the xenophobia attack.
Yeah.
So the poor against the poor,
Mm-hmm.
without looking at the richer man with all the money,
Mm-hmm.
as usual.
Yeah. It is very, very important point you raised there. And what they've done is they know that Africans are spiritual people, and therefore by extension very, very emotional, because of that deep spirituality. And what they've been able to do is to put themselves in the middle of it by disruption, and that disruption leaves us open to just raw emotional wreck that they can now direct the way they want. I mean, look at what they're doing in South Africa. South Africans are so emotionally disturbed that they are begging the colonials, who still own 73% of their land, that please don't employ black immigrants. Employ us on a land that is meant to be theirs. That is a psychological damage right there. And, you just see it. You just see it right there. So, very good point yet again. African Revolution. Thank you. Thank you.
We are making a WAR as to be more TikTok friendly.
Yeah.
For being employed by the master.
Yes, it.
To be basically enslaved.
Yeah.
Begging to which one has the right to be enslaved first.
It's crazy. It's absolutely I mean, when you think about it from that point of view, you just start thinking, what? Hang on. So you mean that you are for them to actually say that? And I saw a young lady who was saying that the whites are not the problem. Sorry, the whiteys are not the problem. And I was like, my goodness me, this is generational. From 1897 to 1997. That's 200 years. Is it? No, sorry, 1897, 90. Yeah, 100 years. 100 years. So now, and we're now in 2025. So this young lady, clearly, her generations have been removed from land owning, so much so that it has now become a way of life for over 70% of the black African population in South Africa. And that normality is what they will fight for. You know, they put them, it's like, sometimes they say when you put a prisoner in a cage and it's been there so long, you can open the gate door and he won't step out of that gate. Literally. He's been in there so long, and his mind, it's no longer physical now. It is in his mind. His mind is that he is there for life. Even if you put the door, you leave it open, you walk away, you come back, you will find him there. That is what is happening to black South Africans right now. And we need to help them to wake up. But wow, good point you raised there. Very good point. Thank you, African Revolution. And don't forget, those of you watching, please go ahead and subscribe to Citizen NY on YouTube. Help us grow this platform on YouTube. We really do appreciate your comments. Let me see if I can see any more comments from others. I will try and read for those of you who are joining us. And thank you. There's more people joining. Give us the thumbs up. I will just ask you, let me just at this point pause and say to those of you who are joining us on YouTube, as you're coming in, there's 4 things I need you to do. Number 1, give us the thumbs up. It helps the algorithm to reach more people. Number 2, subscribe. Number 3, share the broadcast. And finally, number 4, hit the notification button so that when I come live next time, you will automatically get the notification, and then it actually helps the process. I mean, TikTok are playing the game. It doesn't matter. We have the YouTube here, and we can build that. I'm also on Facebook. We have over 300,000 followers there, but again, Facebook are a bit hit and miss, and my live broadcast, for some reason, they're nailing it down. But I'll do a broadcast on there. But YouTube is where we really want to focus on at the minute, and I really appreciate each and every one of you joining me. And I hope you find this useful in what we're saying and what we're talking about. So please, again, this booklet, I'll say what it means. You will not understand what I'm about to say, but for Yoruba speaking people who will watch this back, this book is called Àṣẹ àti Agbára tí a ní nínú Ìwé Òfin Nàìjíríà ní èdè Yorùbá, translated into Yoruba by Ayogodomo, aka Citizen NY, which is myself. And this book is intended to help 30 million Nigerians who are living in the villages. The estimated population of Yoruba people is between 60 and maybe 80 million. And many, over half, are living in villages, and they don't have access to know their rights. And we need to change that dynamic. If we don't get our people to participate from the grassroots, we can't make this change. And that needs to happen, not just in Nigeria, right across the whole of Africa. So we want communities, those who are in the know, those who have been in the diaspora, who know those rights, who can help them. Get in there. Start doing this work. You may think it's nothing, but what we're doing here, it's reaching people. I've sent this to people, and they're listening and online. And when I start reading to them, they start thinking, I didn't know I have that right. That's a moment. That's a light bulb moment, and that's a change in their mind. You switch them on to start questioning. You see, when you are a child, black or whitey, there is something that you have. You have the inquisitiveness in you. You question, you ask, you go on. You would find out things, you would explore. But as we get older, they put the religion in front of you, they put the fake history in front of you, they put the skewed religion and education in front of you. All of that starts shutting down your inquisitive nature as an African, and you regress inwards, and you do not move until you're told to move. It's all about controlling the mind. The control, before they used to have the control on the slavery, the shackles. Now it's in our mind, and that is the one that is most difficult to see. So those of us who can do this work, who can spread this information, let us take it on as a matter of course, not even a question. And don't think about the benefit for yourself. Think about what you're doing now. In 5, 10, 15, 20 years, that is when you will see the result. Because the community that stands up for itself, when you are long gone, when I'm long gone, I will be smiling down thinking, my job is done. I'm grateful. They can take care of themselves, because you're not doing it for just this, for their, not just their generation, the generation to come before the next them, after them, and the one after, and the one after, and the one after, and the one after. This is what we need to do. Some people will take this on from here, and I'm hoping many will see this video and spark something in them to be part of this struggle. We need to support the likes of Ibrahim Traore, Assimi Goïta, General Chiani, because this is a task for every single African, and we mustn't tire. We mustn't shirk from this responsibility. It's time for us to rise above those who've been oppressing us for so long on our land. No longer must we accept this. Africa must be for Africans, and I make no apology whatsoever for that statement. I hope this makes sense to you. Now, so I'll come back again. I'll talk about this. But as you're watching me, do go ahead and subscribe to Citizen Newa on YouTube. Hit notification button, and please do share and let people know about this platform, Citizen Newa, the platform where we speak truth to power. One of the things we want to do in this platform, I'll briefly mention. I'm hoping to be able to go to Burkina Faso sometime this year, but of course your help again by subscriptions. Those of you that will subscribe to the platform will help make that possible, because it means I can be able to do things. And also part of that will be to be able to print this documentation. We're not seeking funding for this work. It's the subscription that we get on YouTube and other things that will help, and personal funding myself. So if you want to help, there are bank accounts that you can see on there that you can donate to, or just simply share the broadcast. That's all. Share the broadcast. That is the best thing you can do to help us, because this is a lifelong task. I'm going to do this until the day the wheels fall off. More right on this till the wheel falls off. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Because it took me a long while to wake up and realize what's been done, and we need to work. We have to be selfless about this. We have to follow the examples of Ibrahim Traore, Assimi Goïta, General Chiani. They are selfless. They're not looking for their pockets. They're looking at how Africans can benefit collectively. That must be our goal. Okay, so now to talk about Nigeria now a bit more, I'm going to go into specifics about that. The picture that you see behind me, those of you on TikTok, those are 6 governors. And I'm going to read something to you about the 6 governors. And this is why it is harrowing. And this is where you know that the colonials are controlling things. 6 Southwestern governors in Yoruba land. They receive 2.7 billion naira. Now, let me see what that means in dollars. Monthly for security. Monthly. Let me just quickly do a quick search. Where are we? Here. So I'm going to just show you that now. Can you see? I hope you can see. Please continue to go and tap and share our broadcast. We really do appreciate your support. I'm sorry if the picture is a little bit static here and there, but I'm doing the best that we can on YouTube. I'm probably going to use StreamYard next time on that. But for now I want to just type in something. So 2.7 billion. Okay. 2.7 billion naira in pounds, in dollars. Okay. So let me just put this up. 2.7 billion naira. And this is per month in dollars. Okay. So they are receiving $2 million a month. 1.970. Let's say 2 million, give or take, a month to provide security for their state. Yet, we are faced with the picture that you see behind. Those of you on YouTube, you will see the picture. It's blurred out. You can see the face of a young boy. What he's in is BLOOD. I don't want to say too much on TikTok because you know what they do. Is in his own BLOOD, and the other one equally. He was physically harmed on his forehead, and it's covered in BLOOD. And this is in a particular state or your state. Now the governor that is to the left, as I'm watching, which will be to your right as you're watching, I think. To the left as I'm watching, to your right as you're watching, the governor, the tallest governor there, Makinde, this happened, this abduction where these kids were physically harmed happens in a state. And then all of the states now has had abductions of one kind or the other happen on a regular basis. And it's frequently happening now. Now, those boys have been failed because one of the jobs of the government, of the state governor, is this. It says that you are the primary responsibility of the governor. It shall be the primary responsibility of the governor to provide safety and security for the citizens. That's their primary role. They have failed because children now, these abductions took place, it takes place in churches, in mosques, in schools. So much so now, in many states, they've closed schools down. They've told people not to go to school. One kid went to school one day and there was nobody in school and he had to go back home because everybody is so afraid of these terror groups. And this is why we're saying what we're saying, that those who are funding this stuff, this terror groups, like African Revolution said, they are the Western powers. They are funding groups that don't have religious beliefs. In fact, they are taught the things to say. They're taught even the very act of severing somebody's head. They've been trained by these colonials. They have been trained. They literally have been trained. In the Middle East, they call it Wahhabism. It's the same option, same thing. Severing somebody and all of that stuff. Severing somebody's head off. This is a training that they've gone through. It's not something they've just done. That religion is just a smoke screen to even yet cause more confusion. And of course, the object of all of this, in those states that I mentioned, the 6 states, there are over 40 mineral resources in Nigeria. Yes, over 40 mineral resources. So you can understand the hydra-headed colonials, UK, France, US, their interest is in those resources. They don't care about Christians, black Christians. Tell me, how can they care about black Christians when the black Christians in America are being unalived? That's just talk. So if you fall for that trick, you need to wake up. Religion is just a tool of oppression. It does 2 things. It keeps you on your knees, and it keeps them flooding your mind with nonsense so that you don't see what is really going on. You become spiritually asleep. The religion they give you is to put you into a trance, a spiritual sleep that you never wake up from. There we go. See, I've been suspended again. Live visibility restricted on TikTok. Go ahead. Everything I'm saying, I'm speaking truth to power. You're listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. They don't like the truth that I'm saying. I'm not using swear word. I'm speaking truth to power to wake our people up. Now, the object of me saying this is this. At this point, we are considering, I'll be talking to a few people, activist friends of mine. We are going to be organizing a series of protests. We'll give dates. We're going to be organizing a series of protests at our embassies, Nigerian embassies around the world. And I say around the world. We need to be, and people, you can do this wherever you are in the world. Where we have embassies, we need that to happen. Because when the lives of 2-year-olds are being physically, damaged, because that physical damage for somebody, I don't think these kids are even 5 years old. They're not even up to 5, and they've been physically harmed. That will have a long-lasting damage on their mental health. It is going to have a long-lasting damage. And of course, in Nigeria, in Africa, as we all know, there has never been any long-term focus on the effect of physical abuse and all the likes, and how to focus on that and actually make that something that is a thing on the African continent. It is really a thing on the African continent. And when we use those that are even practicing it in African ways, they said, oh, they're doing juju. So they even interfere in that process. So That's why we're doing this now, because our communities now, we are under consistent attack in the southwest, in the southeast, in the northwest, northeast, all over the country called Nigeria, and in many other parts of Africa. And as I said, in Congo, in Sudan, in Burkina Faso, in Mali, in Niger, and what is worse now is this terror people that they are being given weapons by the colonials, these hydra-headed beasts. They also now go inter-country. The other day, this BH group that are sort of being in Nigeria, they went into they went to Chad, and they unalived 2 generals in Chad. Yes, they went to Chad. They went into the Chad territory, unalived 2 generals, and unalived scores of army officials. So this is no longer just about being Nigeria alone now. It is spread. And we are hearing that these same people are even going, they are perhaps the ones going between Niger, between Mali, Burkina Faso, that of course they are pushing out. So you can see that there is an intent to make sure that these terror groups disrupt and prevent Africa's development, prevent Africa to have, to build a bright future for its population. And the same people that are behind this, the spread of this terror, this damage to Africa, are the same ones who will now say, "Oh, we don't want Africans to come to Europe. We don't want immigrants." But they don't say the quiet part out loud. That, oh, by the way, we know that we are disrupting you. We are the ones who are causing unrest in your communities, and we should take. They don't want to shoulder any responsibility. By the way, why should I be surprised? Till today, they have never paid for unaliving Patrice Lumumba. Eisenhower instructed that to take place. Eisenhower. Yes, you heard me right. Eisenhower instructed for Patrice Lumumba to be unalived, and they used Mobutu Sese Seko as a stooge, as a puppet. It's not even something you could conceive, because they were so intent on exploiting the resources. Remember, I told you, the Hiroshima bomb, whatever, the resources, the uranium came from Africa. I kid you not. But they don't say that part. So we, as Africans, need to make sure that we wake our people up on our continent in our local languages. And we need to do that work. So these governors now, like I said, they get 2.7 to 2.8 billion. So let's say $2 million a month to be spent on security. Guess how much they spend on security? Next to nothing. They never protect the communities. Those monies end up in their bank account. It becomes, governance is now private business for many of those governors. Governance is private business. The money meant for building roads, water, light, safety, security, hospital, that money never finds its way to what it is intended for. And because the people have not been brought up or made aware that they have the power to question these governors, they get away with it. Many of the people in the community, instead of actually applying this power that I said to you now, and I'm going to say it again, ẹni agbára láti bí ìjọba ní ìbéèrè torí pé kí ni ẹ̀yin lẹ́ni àṣẹ àti agbára. Abala kẹrìnlá ẹsẹ̀ kejì a sọ pé ìjọba jẹ́ ti àwọn ènìyàn Nàìjíríà láti ọ̀dọ̀ oníṣèjọba nípasẹ̀ òfin orílẹ̀-èdè yìí ń gba gbogbo agbára àti àṣẹ rẹ̀. So loosely, what I said there in Yoruba language to my people, 60 million strong, maybe more, is sovereignty. 14.2a, sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority. Which means that our people now, they can now, with this information, They know now. I'll read the second bit to you. Section 14.2c, and I'll read it in Yoruba. It states, the participation by the people in the government shall be ensured in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. Now, that participation is guaranteed because the citizens are, first of all, the sovereigns. With that sovereignty, they have the power to participate in their governance. They don't require the government to say you are okay to do so. By the fact that they are sovereigns, they have the power to participate in the governance. Now, let me go and say that in Yoruba. Abala kẹrìnlá ẹsẹ̀ kejì sí ìkópa nípasẹ̀ ènìyàn nínú ìjọba wọn gbọ́dọ̀ rí dájú ní ìbámu pẹ̀lú àwọn ìpèsè ti orílẹ̀-èdè. So what I said in English there, I've said in Yoruba. And people, any Yoruba person understands clearly, without any doubt, what I've just said and what it means to them and how to use these powers. Because these governors, they have never been questioned by the sovereigns because of the conditioning in many African countries, including Nigeria. From the age of 4, you have two choices as a child. I went through that. From the age of 4, you go to, if your parents or family are Christian, you go to Sunday school. If you are from the age of 4, if you're Muslim, you go to Keu, we call it Keu, Arabic school, from the age of 4. And you are taught about religion. They say religion is important. But here we have a constitution written in 1999. And people who are of university age, they don't even know what is within this constitution. They have no idea. Let me bring somebody on. I see somebody wanted to join me. Mamo. Okay, I'll accept. Let me see if Mamo will join. Mamo, I hope I can hear you. Let's hear from you as well. Please, those of you as are watching, greetings and welcome, Mamo. What would you like to say? Thank you.
I want to say power to the grandmother that gave you the power for you to connect back to your own people.
Thank you.
Back in Nigeria.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
She has planted a seed that a whole nation or a whole generation is giving you the language.
Oh, thank you.
Giving you the connection.
Thank you.
That you need.
Thank you.
I've been listening to the program. I'm at work right now.
Yes.
And I think what you are doing is the noble work. Because
thank you.
You educate the people regarding this Senate. I don't know, is it senators or?
Yes. Senators, House of Reps, State House Assembly members, governors.
Yeah, who are receiving this $2 million?
Yeah, it's the governors. The governors are receiving $2 million. The governors.
Exactly, yeah. But this $2 million that they are receiving are not doing any work.
Yes. None.
My brother, the reason why we are suffering as a continent is because we have had people who are like dead weight.
Mm-hmm.
They are called leaders,
Mm-hmm.
but their intention is not to actually help us. It's
No.
not to work for us.
Yes.
It's to work against us.
It is to work against us, yes.
Anybody else who comes to a position of responsibility and he enrich himself
Yeah.
at the expense of the masses, this is the enemy.
It is.
This
That's.
is the most dangerous enemy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because what they have done is they have injected, a poison which
Yeah.
has capacitated us
Yes.
and which has destroyed us. Has made us immobilized.
Mm-hmm.
You are talking about resources in those areas where there is violence. Who is interested in the resources? These are the very people who are financing the violence.
Yes.
This violence has nothing else to do with any religion.
Ex-
Anybody else who says is Islamic, I don't know.
Yeah.
Islam wants to overpower Nigeria,
Mhm.
take over Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
People who should not talk in public.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I personally believe there are people that should not speak on behalf of Nigeria, for example, or on behalf of Africa.
Yeah.
Because instead of them helping the situation, they're not helping the situation.
No.
They are actually making this, because you know what they say in Gambia and Senegal, they say, supposed to talk, those who really have the message, when they are silenced by the loudness of the most backwarded among us, then it's time for those who know what to do or who know what to say to keep quiet. Because like we haven't given credence, we haven't given due respect to the people who are actually educating us in things that are really important. We have given importance to the people who are the loudest among us, the most insignificant, the divisive ones, the ones who confuse us. You understand?
Yes.
Because the job that you are doing in this platform, this is the platform whereby listeners should be in thousands, not in tens. You understand? Because the message that you are propagating is what we need to come out of this hellhole that we find ourselves.
Yes. Thank you.
Africa is endowed with everything, resources.
Yes.
Can you imagine a villager who has his village on top of a gold mine is waking up trying to find breakfast, begging for breakfast?
Yes.
Can you imagine that?
It's madness, pure utter conditioned, and it's engineered madness. Engineered.
That the poverty that we find ourselves in, the education, the lack of education that we find ourselves in. For me, I say it's chosen. We deliberately have chosen this because if we consciously realize what is happening, the power that we have, Africa is the resource base for all the economies in the world.
Exactly.
All the powerful economies in the world. Look at what has happened from the day that Iran has been attacked recently. Those who can observe have noticed that, on the whole, Europe needed those 6 Middle Eastern countries for their economies to function.
Exactly.
As soon as they close the hormones,
they start
you
panicking.
hear that. Yeah, everybody starts panicking. Indian economy is on a free fall.
Yeah.
It's like it's going to collapse, they say. Pakistani's economy is going to collapse. Why? Britain, we hear, is going to collapse. Their economy is going to collapse.
Yep.
So you realize that these people actually, they are living in luxury at the expense of those regions where these resources are coming from.
Exactly.
The same is the case for Africa. You understand?
Yeah.
We are poor deliberately because some people have decided that we shall not industrialize. We shall not industrialize because the moment we industrialize, that's it, finished. Because we will be competing for share of the resources. And that puts their economy at a disadvantage.
Exactly.
Because the regions where the raw materials are coming from, if they need it, they can say, no, we are only exporting 10% of this resource. We are not going to export everything. So that will affect those who need it. And that's why Africa has been deliberately taking that position.
Yes. Indeed.
So those who say, we are lazy. Okay, we are lazy to an extent because I say we are also supposed to invest, in education, tap into the resources that we have, and we should not wholesale sell our resources when we don't know their value. For example,
exactly.
If we cannot process them, we should not sell them.
Exactly.
For example, if you read into sustainability, for example, they say sustainability is the system whereby we exploit our resources in ways that we don't put our future generations at a disadvantage.
Yes.
That is, we don't use everything as we have now, so we spare a little bit of as much of it as possible for the future generations.
Exactly.
So if that is true, how much of that is being done in Nigeria? How much of that is being done in Congo?
No.
How much of that is being done in all the other African countries?
None.
Because you should be able to have a plan that says that we have 10,000 square miles of land that we need to exploit. So we will exploit only 1% of that now.
Indeed.
Are there countries operating on those bases? This is where we need to be.
Mhm.
And anybody else who is bringing that type of education, they need to be supported to the highest level. Thank you very much for that.
Wow, thank you.
I need to go back.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for coming in. I really appreciate your comments. It's really heartwarming. And let me give you a round of applause for your comments. It's really, I feel that connection. I know it is heartfelt. Everything you said, Malmo too. I think is that calling? Are you calling from Sweden? If are you calling from Sweden?
Yes, brother. Yes.
Okay, I could tell because I know Malmo. I've been there. Wow. Okay. Modubra?
Yeah, no, brother.
Oh, det är Kul att vi träffas. Tack så jättemycket. Ja. Ha en bra dag. So that's I like languages a little bit, so I speak a little bit, but I'm most proud of my, being able to speak my mother tongue. And you should, everybody should be. You should be proud to speak your mother tongue. But I do find language fascinating to a certain extent, but for us in Africa, it is even more it's of greater significance, and we need to share that. So a round of applause again to Mamo too. I think I'm following you. I'm not sure. I'm trying to make sure I've got you on here. Let me make sure I want to make sure I'm following you properly. Yeah, we are. Okay, I am. So, now one thing.
I just wanted to ask a question.
Yeah.
Sorry if I interject.
No. Go ahead. Please go.
We are all in the diaspora here.
Yeah.
And one of my questions that is coming to my mind lately, also to understand the realities back on the ground in Africa, is
Yes.
did you reach your level of awareness of consciousness before leaving Africa?
No.
Or something that came after?
It came after. Long after. It came long after.
One of the main problems that we have is to, raise the awareness of the Africans in Africa, exactly as you are doing with your initiative of even translating the Nigerian constitutions in Yoruba language in order that people can understand it directly.
That's correct.
As a second language or from word of mouth even.
Exactly.
This is something that we have to do. This is also the reason why I make all my contents in English, even if I don't speak English as my first language.
Yes.
And I try to engage with people in Africa or who have direct access to Africa, because I think that Africa is the main battleground.
It is. It really is.
The diaspora.
Yeah.
Often we are losing to fighting battles that actually regard only the diaspora, but we miss the fact that if Africa solves its problem, if Africa becomes a united, institution
Yeah.
that makes its leverage felt on the global stage, even issues that we are suffering here in Europe, like, for example, that Congolese man who has been unalived by the
Yes.
British police, for example.
Thank you. I was going to talk about that as well. Yes.
Exactly. Something closer was about to happen even here in Italy, for example.
Oh my gosh.
Was about to happen where police mistreated that man in front of his children.
Oh my gosh.
Just because he was waiting outside of one of the few African restaurants that are here, waiting for the food to come out. And just the police question, what are you doing all there? And he just, because he already knew that particular police officer,
Yeah.
said, you are not someone who likes black people.
Mm.
Then he found himself, put on the ground with violence by 5 police officers.
Oh my gosh.
This is what happens. And a few days ago, one man who was just riding his bike to go to work,
Yeah.
to collect, vegetables in the farms that Italians don't want to do,
Yeah.
has been unalived by 5 teenagers.
It's crazy.
Unalived, just because he was black. They missed one black man managed to flee. They waited there until another black man comes there to attack him. But all these issues will not happen, for example, with the Chinese people.
No. They will never do that.
And as someone that is, I'm at the age of Ibrahim Traore, by the way.
Okay.
So I see the transformation in this country. Something like 20 or 30 years ago, Chinese also were seen as people coming from a third world country.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yes.
But right now, no one will dare, even when the COVID pandemic spread.
Yes.
I was expected to, the backlash against all the Chinese are bringing disease here or something like that. Nothing happened.
No way.
Because
No way.
they now see
Exactly.
China can be his leverage felt on the global stage.
And
this solves also the problem of the Chinese diaspora communities around the world.
yeah, yeah,
So if we solve problems in Africa first,
exactly.
a collateral effect, it will affect every one of us, even in the diaspora.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well said. That's exactly what is motivating me the most. Knowing that if we solve the problem of Africa on the ground and the people are actively involved in actually taking control and participating in governance, it would have positive ramifications for those of us who are abroad. Very positive ramifications. And in fact, the idea that was in our mind and was implanted in our mind is that you were educated when you left Africa and went to the West. That's you. You're the height of educated man and everything else. But when I came here, I realized that the tools, what you were equipped with, was to just be able to be serving the system in the West. You weren't able to actually display and actually participate to the extent of your capabilities. And there's a lot of pigeonholing, and of course the attacks, the personal attacks. I mean, I remember one time I was in a phone booth talking to somebody, and a guy came behind and he said, "Get out of that phone booth." And I said, "Listen, I'm on a call." Next minute he took a crowbar and something else, and two of them they proceeded to try and attack me. Now I had the presence of mind to swing around, and they couldn't get close to me, but I had to leave the phone booth. So those are the kind of things that never leaves me. And this happened to me over 20 years ago. To this day, I never forget it. And then I've had the one where the police, they saw me and then they started questioning me. And I had my papers and they were treating me like a criminal. I'm like, what have I done? And all of those things, they just leave imprints on you. But in fact, one time, another incident I had, I went to the pharmacy. I had an health issue of some kind, so I went to get something in the pharmacy. Next minute, the police, plainclothes policemen, threw me in the back of their car and took me to a chemist for him to identify me as a criminal, and then they would put me in jail. And I said, I have not been to this place before. I've never been there. And the guy came looking at me inside the car. Said, "Oh, I'm not too sure it's him." They came into my house, searched my house without warrant. At that time, I didn't have that knowledge. I didn't have I didn't know my rights properly. Now they searched my house, searched everywhere, turned everything upside down, and then left. So all of this has made me. That's part of the reason. I think all those things were building up, and at one point, that's when I woke up. So what you're saying now, in terms of we really need to empower Africans on the ground to wake up, to take that change, Yeah, we are all in enemy land, exactly. To take that change, make it, to effect that change from within Africa, so that Africans for themselves can begin to spark and ask questions. South Africans they've never been able to question why is it that their land of their own ancestors, they don't have any ancestral land. That's generational wealth that's been stolen from them. But they don't understand that concept because they've been conditioned to believe that they are going to be manual laborers from the time they are born to the time they leave this earth by the same colonials. So this is something that we need to, do from within Africa. And that's why I hope many others will join me in this, in doing the work we're doing. But, thank you very much for that, what you just said there. Now, I want to shift to, I'm going to come to that issue of, I might do that program with the man that was unalived in Ireland. I mean, the video is horrifying. It is horrifying. And you know what is worse about it? It was the George Floyd moment. Totally the same thing. And people around were looking and the police were saying, "Keep away." And this guy was literally putting his feet. Oh, man. Yeah. I'll do a second show on that. Okay. Right. Let's go and talk about Dangote. Another reason why we have to wake up. because of this oil crisis now that's going on, the West before were always saying, "Oh, the oil that we have in Africa was always of low grade." But now, guess what? They have no other option because Straits of Hormuz is closed. Iran is in control. You have to pay toll to go through, and all of that has stopped. All of that has been, they put a stop to all of that. So now they now have to get the oil from Nigeria. But not only that, Nigeria has the largest single factory or refinery in the world, meaning that many there's as much as about 20. I read somewhere that there are about 20 refineries have shut down, maybe more, in Europe as a result of refinery being done. Dangote doing his own refinery. Having our own refinery to process our oil in Nigeria. And the World Bank said, "Oh, you need to open up competition." And what do they mean by competition? They wanted Nigeria and to open up competition to allow foreign countries to come and process that oil. So they will compete with Dangote for processing the oil, foreign companies. And when they realized what they were doing, within a couple of days, they pulled that report down. They had to pull it down. And then they didn't say anything about it. The point being, they didn't like and they don't like the fact that Africa is able to manufacture the resources on our own. One man, Nicholas Howard, said it that the Western policy has been, we will never allow Africa to produce anything. Africa must remain a resource-only production area. That is mineral resources. That's all we will produce. And unfortunately, with what Dangote has done, and Dangote has friends in all the places and everything, is now seen that, okay, we need to build ourselves. And I've been saying, when it was with, it was pally with, Bill Gates and everything else, I think he's realized that, look, these guys were being used, and it's funny. Those who are wealthy, you would think they would be in the know, but they're the last to know. When somebody's coming to tell you about, you don't have healthcare in your own country and everything else, and using it as a way to get into your system to take vital records of your people, and the government signs it up. We need to do a better job as ourselves. So I'm glad that Dangote has actually woken up and is actually advocating for us to produce our own, more finished products. That's a good thing. But of course, the pushback is that they want Africa to remain an area where they can come and take the resources and then sell the same resources back to us at markup value to make wealth off us yet again. So they're buying the resources. If you notice, why should our petrol be sold in dollars? Why? This oil is coming from Nigeria. Why should it have anything to do with dollars? No way, it shouldn't. But the point being with that idea is, the minute you're doing it in dollars, they also charge commission for using dollars. So they're taking money double ways. They reduce the value of your currency, so they buy more of your resources with less of their money. And then you then pay commission for using their money. And that is why I support being a multipolar world where we have currencies where people can trade in their own national currencies. There was a time when in Nigeria we could trade with, we could come to UK and use Naira, but all of that is long gone. Naira is worthless in this UK. If you are to bring Naira, that's worthless. At one point, Naira was $2. It was 2 Naira to 1 pound. Sorry, it was 2 pounds to 1 Naira. It was 2 pounds to 1 Naira, and likewise with dollar as well. But all of this has been subtly changed. The currency has been the biggest extraction of our resources on the cheap. If you notice, if you look at all African currencies around in Africa, the currency is always less than the smallest European valued currency. Always. Always. And this because those currencies could then buy African resources on the cheap. It's all about our resources. So it is good now that we are producing and they have to buy finished product, and it makes sense. I mean, let me say this. It makes sense that Africa, being the place where we have the mineral resources, we should position the processing of those resources close to the mining area as possible to reduce traveling costs, to reduce environmental damage. It makes sense in all ways. And of course, the benefit then flows to Africans, and it creates more jobs on the African continent. The colonial countries, I'll mention them: UK, France, Germany, Spain, Italy, Portugal. They all say, "Oh, Africa and the immigrant problem." Well, you take our resources on the cheap, you sell it to us in a price that we can't afford. You cause wars, WAR, on the African continent. You destabilize the continent, and the people flee from the things you're creating. And then you go, oh, immigrants. Who created the problem? Who created that problem, I ask? Was it not you? With your actions, with your proxy, feeding proxy WARs, biological warfare, religious wars, twisting historical facts, everything just to. This is you're simply benefiting, reaping the rewards of your actions, but you refuse to acknowledge that. That's the reality of what we're saying. So, when we're saying this now about Dangote and Africa begin to speak up and beginning to actually say, look, we don't want this, and there's pushback, and we're saying that even the leadership, we need to. The next step for us now has to be making sure that we have leaders who don't care about the Western democracy. I'm going to say that again slowly. We must have leaders who do not give one jot about Western democracy on the African continent, because we've seen the effects of the Western democracy practiced on the African continent. It has brought in and spread and deepened corruption. That is the sole aim of democracy on the African continent. I put it to you. The sole aim of their so-called democracy on the African continent has been to deepen corruption, to be able for them to handpick those who they want to use to continue this corruption. Because oftentimes, when those monies and the resources leave, they get the benefit. When the wealth of Africa stays outside Africa in the hands of a few, and those few, oftentimes, many of the Western countries sit on those money, but those puppets, they cannot speak out, because the money that they are storing in those banks are stolen money, and they cannot speak out about it because they would expose that they've done something wrong. And the West depend on those kind of things because they want to, we'll do this, and then when they stock it up and they can just take it and they build infrastructure and maintain their own places at the expense of the countries that they're saying they're corrupt. The very democracy that is practiced in Africa is about spreading of corruption, and we need to really understand that. How else can you explain Ibrahim Traore coming into Burkina Faso, telling the people, we are going to use the money that we've earned from selling gold to buy aeroplane. He buys it. They see it. We're going to use the money to buy tractors, to buy mobile hospitals, to buy plant spreaders, to buy all of the things that we need. And then he brought it in, did a show live on TV to show the whole country the money that we took from our bank account, our government account. Here's where we spend, and the detail and explanation. But you will not see that in the democracy that the West are telling us to follow. Nobody will explain to you. Nigeria right now, like 2.7 billion naira, which is 2 million a month. They are providing zero explanation. Without democracy, Ibrahim Traore is showing this is what you need to do. He's not waiting for anybody. He's leading. democracy, I put it to anybody who wants to talk, to come and debate with me, is a failure on the African continent. It's designed to deepen corruption. And unless we call this out, we will continue to suffer. So we support Ibrahim Traore, we support Assimi Gota, we support General Chani, and we must make sure we know under no circumstances must we allow the Hydra head beasts to come and destabilize the development and the growth of the African people. Africa belongs to Africans, and we have a right to a better quality of life that our resources, mineral resources, affords us. And we should be apologetic to no one for standing on that. No one whatsoever. So I'm hoping that doing what we're doing here, it will bring that up. I'm going to come and talk about the issue of the man in Ireland who was terribly, brutally unalived. Brutally. And again, all of this is to there is a running theme right now. In America, the same thing is happening. They are finding people who have been on a tree daily. They are finding thousands of girls gone missing daily. In UK here, in fact, I need to bring that. A couple of few days back, 2 or 3 women found in water. African women found in water. No explanation. The police not investigating. So there is a trend of this unaliving going on that we have to be aware of. And this is where you know that puppet leaders, when we have puppet leaders, it actually harms us in the end. The puppet leaders will not even look at this kind of cases because they are compromised. The colonials always look for compromised leaders who they can tell, look, you do what I tell you or we kick you out. So there's a lot of work for us all to do, and that's why we need to encourage this questioning of knowing our rights in our local language. It is so important. It actually will transform our communities. It will transform the lives of millions, 1.3, 1.4 billion Africans. It will transform their lives when they know their rights in the local language. It means that no colonial will come and sign a deal in the back room, telling somebody to give the rights to access to the health records of the people that not aware. And there was a lady. I'm going to actually do a program about that. There's another thing I've seen recently, which I need to talk about, which is quite horrifying.
Yes.
But
I wanted to add something about this. Just
yes.
To think the crime events that are happening here in Europe
Mm-hmm.
or in the West against Africans
Mm-hmm.
or people of African origins.
Mm-hmm.
The importance of the battle on the ground
Mm-hmm.
and the Dangote refinery itself.
Mm-hmm.
Because, first of all, Dangote refinery is showing us, the power of doing things. Imagine if Dangote, as a billionaire that he is just speaking about that without investing his own money,
Mm-hmm.
without taking any risk
Mm-hmm.
into what he is supposedly advocating
Yes.
other people to do. Well, he is doing. He put his money.
Exactly.
He made an investment, so he accepted the risk. The process was not even smoothly because
No.
he found so many obstacles
Mm-hmm.
on his road.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, what he is doing is that he invested into, providing for a strategic necessity of his country,
Yes.
Nigeria,
Yes.
which is the top African oil producer.
In-
Was without his refinery started working,
Mm-hmm.
Nigeria was importing 100% of his refined oil.
Exactly.
100%. And also the Nigerian government, or it was the World Bank or the IMF that made that remark of, that he has a monopoly now.
That's correct.
Actually, this is something that the Nigerian government should have done without waiting for a private investor to do so.
Precisely.
Nigeria, we know that it is not the first refinery in Nigeria. Nigeria has many other refineries, but the fact that all of them ended up out of order, out of service, it means that it is a design. It cannot be by chance that all the refineries, something like more than 4, if I am correct, they were not working. So this also opens the space for understanding how much Africa potential can be unlocked
Mm-hmm.
if we started
Mm-hmm.
seeing it as not just a problematic area of the world, but
Mm-hmm.
somewhere where you can even invest in something.
Exactly.
And more remarkably, it is the lack of action of our leadership, as you were stating just right now.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that, that should be, the job of a government to build a refinery, which is a strategic asset for your country, which is the first oil producer, in order to stop importing fuel at triple or 4 times the price.
Exactly.
And also to add insult to injury, the refined products that, in particular, Europe is exporting to every African countries is basically the byproduct which is not allowed for European Union standards.
There you go.
To be used in Europe because it's too harmful for the health of people.
There you go.
And for the machinery.
There you go.
But this byproduct that they are producing in the process to refine the quality of oil that they desire, that it is under their regulations, it is the one who is shipped back to Africa at 3-4 times the price that of the
You see?
raw material.
You see?
So if we invest into the industrialization process, basically it is a virgin area because Africa is not industrialized as a continent.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
imagine the amount of investment that you can do
Oh gosh.
into the industrialization process.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this connects again with the fact that imagine an Africa that is able to do so, that maybe even the leadership. And about leadership that we have to choose and stuff like that you mentioned.
Yeah.
I think that it is extremely important if we want the revolution that started in the Sahel with the AES countries to keep being in place is for more Africans to join them.
Yeah.
Even if not as official members of the AES, just by collaborating towards the same goals
Yeah.
with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
This would be actually if just one country, and if this country would be Nigeria, to start collaborating with the AES
Yes.
properly and organically.
Exactly.
You can see that we will already have an African bloc to add into this multipolar world, because the multipolar world of now actually doesn't see any African pole right now. So
Exactly.
we have to, the best way to protect the revolution in the AES is to make more revolution happen, possibly in neighboring countries.
Absolutely.
Even if they have access to the sea.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
extremely important.
Very, very
And
much
this
so.
will kick off the potential of Africa, even as one of the poles of this multipolar world.
Yeah.
That at the end will make his voice felt to the benefit of us in the diaspora.
Yes.
That we are to focus on the diaspora problems, but if African problems are solved, we will have solved at least more than half of problems affecting us as
Exactly.
foreigners in enemy land.
Absolutely. Well said. Wow. I couldn't put it better. I couldn't put it any better, my brother. African Revolution. Thank you so much for that, Kofi. I'm really grateful. Look, there are really important points that Kofi is making here. All of it is centered on accessing our resources, preventing us from actually growing and tapping into that, getting the benefit that rightly should come to us on our continent. By doing the things Dangote is challenging and showing us what we can do and the kind of wealth that we can create for our communities. It is very, very important that all of us, greetings, Bukenzi, you there? Halls. So it is so important that we look at this thing holistically. No, thank you very much for that. Let me just add one layer to all of this. Now, the issue on ground, please, when I'm about to say this, it's not to say that it's about religion. It's to say that the demography and the interplay of the Western the colonial hydra head in this in what is going on in Nigeria needs to be looked into closely. On the one hand, the presidency of Nigeria, we know there's, I don't know what it is, there's some sort of, you don't get to be a president of Nigeria unless there is some kind of a hold on you somehow. So let's pack that. Now, the other side of it is that on the ground, in Nigeria itself, the West also played a game. They assumed custody of power when the colonials, when UK was going to leave, was the North. Tafawa Balewa, Ahmadu Bello, that was where the West were putting power, even though the North was not the strong performing sector of the country. but they put the power there. And there was a reason for that, because they felt that if they allowed the West to develop at the time, Western Nigeria, Yoruba land was the first to have its own television station before France. We had Cocoa House, where the money from Cocoa House, selling cocoa and everything else, actually was able to fund healthcare and fund schools and improve the quality of life of people. So the power, they developed this thing called quota system. So I'm just giving you the foundations of why Nigeria is the way it is right now, and why I'm looking at strongly that regional division of powers will be the solution, and I think it's the only way out. But anyway, so by so doing of putting the power in the hands of the North, and they used false census, counting goats and everything else, that the North had the most numbers without actually verifying it. All of the Governor General at the time used nefarious means, really purely just fraudulent means to rig the figures. So that meant that the North now were sort of, okay, we are the power base. And quota system, everything. I mean, do you know that in the North, for example, even I think it still happens now, if you had a grade of 10 out of 100 and someone in the South had a grade of 60 out of 100, the person who would get into that position would be the person who had 10 out of 100, because they said it's quota system, or let him through. And the person who was in the South would have to struggle and do other things, not even be able to get into that his field. So this has been something that's been long running. Now, that developed a entitlement culture in the North. The northern part of Nigeria now believe that we've always had power. And again, this is what the colonial structure does to you. It conditions you to think in a particular way. Subtly, then they became this thing of they were the ones who were going to have the power and who would, Maite, okay, I'll bring you in. I'll just quickly say what I'm going to say here, then I'll bring you in, Maite. So they believed that they were the ones who would have the power, and they had the ones who would decide the future of the country, where we were going and everything else. They just, and now, when they now came to the point where the other parts of saying, no, this is not right. We are, if we're a democracy, power should actually go to all parts of the country. And let's just say, not to prolong it any further, what has happened now is that the power now is now shifted to the South. There are problems, and are too numerous to explain right now with that situation to a certain extent. But what has now turned out is that Tinubu is facing problems from two fronts. He's facing problems internationally with those who are eyeing the mineral resources in Nigeria, chiefly US, and saying, oh, China has restricted our rare earths mineral access. We need more places. Oh, Nigeria has got something. We're going to try and help them. They really mean help themselves. Because the man was saying, one of the senators was saying, yeah, we're going to help exploit. No, I mean explore. He said it I think I've shared the video. So that came out of the bag that what they were doing was come to exploit. They weren't here to come and solve any religious problems. So that's the external influence. Now the internal influence, those northerners who've believed that, particularly Fulani northerners, they believe that they have the right to power. So now that Tinubu is coming up to his second term, they're saying, no, you're bad. They're really making his governance bad. And the West love that situation. The colonial Hydra head, they love the situation where there's a friction between the locals, because that is where they now come into their own. They are masters of exploiting a difficult situation on ground to their own benefit. So what they've now done is, oh yeah, we see you. Okay, yes, okay. We believe in democracy. Yes, we support Tinubu. Yeah, come, And then on the other side, they'll go around the back and support those northerners. Yes, of course, we're still together. And now the northerners many of them in politicians, are protecting the terror people. So much so that when they get arrested sometimes, they will get a call from a politician in Abuja, free them, and they are freed. So Tinubu cannot fully do what he needed to do he's not got a free hand, as it were. So the problem of poverty that we have in this country is multifaceted. In Nigeria, it's very multifaceted. It's intricate. But what Tinubu is doing right now is to make sure that he gets to pass key things, one of which is this regional devolution of powers into place before immediately or just before the elections. Now, the Northerners don't want the election to take place because they want to find the rules in which to actually not to prevent Tinubu from having the second term. Buhari had 2 terms. Now, this is local politics now, so just remove the Western colonials from this picture for a minute. The local politics is that, we had 2. Again, that entitlement structure mentality comes in. We had 2. Yeah, but you had 1. Look, it's not working. We don't even want you to have the second one. We are taking the power back. So there are many of the terror groups, when they are arrested and caught, do you know that they say they rehabilitate them? So these people that they're caught and that should be jailed and sometimes even given the capital punishment, they are not. So they are reabsorbed back in, and then they commit more of this terror. But it's all hidden. So that is what Tinubu, he can't fully dislodge from that system to combat them. And this is why regional devolution of powers is now something that he's looking at. So I say that because a lot of people, when you're looking from the outside, you will think it's just one thing. But you can see now that the northern interest, the colonial interest, has a convergence. And the rightful thing to do is to allow a 2-term to happen. And let's not kid ourselves. Like I said, and I'm saying it, democracy is a sham on the African continent. Democracy is just democracy has a hidden hand. And what's that hidden hand? Corruption. When they say they're voting and everything, it's all rigged. They decide who comes in. The colonials decide who is going to be the president. And that is why we support Ibrahim Traore, Assimi Goïta, General Chani. They have removed the hands of the colonials in controlling the destiny of their people. The people are supporting Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traore, Mali, Assimi Goïta, and Niger, General Chani. They support them because they know that they are working for the interest of the community, the people on the ground, rather than they serving the needs of the colonials who are espousing democracy. Democracy has a hidden hand. That hidden hand is corruption. So we're going to call it what it is, and we as Africans need to begin to speak truth to power about this. Yeah, exactly. Discussion. Okay, yeah. Nigeria and the future of its governance. Yeah, okay. So it's very, very important that we look at it from that point of view. Now, going back to those governors, like I said, I'm serious about this. I'm going to be making a few phone calls to others. I don't know. I need to find out a date. And the people are not going to. Hopefully, people will be interested. We are looking to start talking about this because children are not going to school right now in several states because of this terror people, and it's not been addressed. And also, the U.S. are actually adding to this problem because they are going to. The U.S. have got this collateral damage, they call it, and it's always happening. And it's interesting that this collateral damage, they don't care. It doesn't matter to them because it doesn't matter whether or not you're a Christian. Collateral damage is collateral damage. It is fitting into their areas. But in the areas where, if you go and look at the areas where this collateral damage is happening, it is always having something to do with the mineral resources. It's always having something to do with mineral resources. So there's going to be a discussion, and I'm so glad African Revolution, you touched on it, that we need to ally, and we have to, with the Alliance of Sahel States, and bring the kind of leadership style that they have there, in place to stop this unending exploitation by the hydra-headed machine of the Western powers. So yeah, I'm really, really glad that we had this discussion. I hope you were able to get some ideas about what is really going on. And those kids there, I can't show you the full picture. They got BLOD all over them from this, and how anybody can do this. How anybody can do this to 2, 3, 4-year-olds and unalive a teacher by severing his head off. It's beyond me. And this is why we need to address this. Like I said, I'll be talking more. I'm going to give you some more updates in terms of how the protest is going to take place. And I want to encourage many of us now, Nigerians, if we're in Canada, US, in France, in Italy. I'm not saying to do anything to destroy anything, please. I am not for violence. I am saying a peaceful demonstration outside of our embassy, demanding that those governors, they provide accountability where they're spending the security vote. They must provide accountability, because the number of unaliving has gone on long enough. Exactly. Thank you. They are calling children being unalive as collateral damage. Exactly. African Revolution. So this is what we are dealing with. We are dealing with a machine that is remorseless in its exploitation and using mainstream media to paint the horrific things they're doing as justified, and somehow blaming the very people that they are oppressing and exploiting for the situation that they engineered, created to allow them to continue to exploit the very same people. We need to put a stop to this collectively. So thank you. This is where I will wrap up. I'm going to come back later on, maybe today or tomorrow, but I'll be back. And also, let me just say this. I have a sister platform where I speak only exclusively in Yoruba. And it's Oduduwa TV Radio. So I have it on TikTok as well. I have it on YouTube. So if you're a Yoruba person, go there and join me as well on YouTube. It's called Oduduwa TV Radio 2. I have that as well. Because I think I'm trying to speak to our people about this booklet of mine, so that we can act on it, and I'm, on an individual basis, spread the word, because it's about empowering our people. We are not going to relent on this. This is going to be going forward. It's a forward motion. Even if it's one step, even if it's a half a step, I'm happy. Because we're building towards a particular goal, and that goal is for our people to know their rights and to be able to change their lives by participating in the governance and getting and manifesting the road they want in the community, the water, the light, the schools, the hospital, the bridges, and all of the other things that rightfully, by dint of their enormous mineral resources, they should enjoy. No question whatsoever. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Thank you very much for joining me. I'll be back later on. I might flip it around now. I don't know. TikTok is just not reliable. Just one more thing before I go. Do me a favor. Those of you who are still watching me on YouTube, can you go ahead? I've not seen people, not many have given us a thumbs up. Please give us thumbs up, because it helps the algorithm. The more you give us a thumbs up, the more it reaches more people. Go ahead before you leave, and those of you that will come later. 4 things I'm asking you to do. Subscribe to Citizen AY. Hit the like button. The like button, the algorithm loves it, and it will make it go around and see more people will see it. What's the third one? The notification button. To notify. Hit the notification button so when I come live, you can join me. And then finally, God, my head is, share it. Share the broadcast on YouTube. TikTok, I've been getting 3 or 4 warnings now about, I've broken their rules. Many of you can play this back. I mean, I'm playing it on both platforms. If you play it back, I don't think I've used any swear word. I've tried to avoid using the word KILLED. I've to use unalive. I try to use, all of this is designed to actually stop us from actually speaking our truth to power. But this is our time on the African continent. We must make sure that we leave a better Africa for the coming generation than the one that we met, because the colonials were all over our generation and they held back our development. We are not going to let them do that to the coming generation. And led by Ibrahim Traore, for me, the president of Africa, we are on the way already. We are unstoppable. This is an unstoppable move, an unstoppable force. Any force that tries to stop this will simply be cast aside and crushed, and the goal will be achieved. Africa belongs to Africans. Africa belongs to Africans. Africans have the right to benefit from the resources. Africans have the right to leave generational wealth for their coming generations. Africans, including South Africans, have the right to leave generational wealth for their coming generations, because by dint of the fact that you are born on the African continent, or you have a direct parentage on the African continent, born with this skin color, you have the right to benefit from those resources, and we will not relent. What are your thoughts on this? Let's hear your views. You're listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak to power. Thank you so much. African Revolution, I'm so grateful for your comments and the time you spend. And the other guy, Imo. Yeah, thank you. What was it again? I forgot the name of the place. Thank you. Yes. Yeah. Any final words before you leave? I thank you for joining. I'm so grateful. We'll do this again.
Yes. The final word is, to really engage with the people in the continent, because I can't stress this too much.
Mm-hmm.
The real fight is there, and the main part of it is there. So
that's it.
As long as we, don't solve African structural problems,
Mm-hmm.
so we have to be able to identify what are the structural problems and what is a strategy to come out of this. And this is what we have to work on,
Mm-hmm.
and make sure that we engage with people in Africa.
Exactly.
Not just on social media,
Mm-hmm.
but
on ground.
most tangible way as
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that. Thank you. Let me just say this once again, in case maybe you didn't hear. I am planning to go to Burkina Faso sometime this year. Your subscribing to my platform on YouTube would be a great help. It would mean that, and one of the benefits will be that I will be broadcasting live from Burkina Faso, and I will be doing so in Mali, and I will be doing so in Niger, because they are the blueprint for the future that we want to see in Africa. Those three countries are the blueprint for the future we want to see in Africa. And it makes sense for people like myself, who are advocates of a better Africa for all Africans, to go to those places and show what can be done with belief in Africans, with pride in our culture, in our food, in our clothes, in our history, in everything, in our, at the foundation, at the very foundation of all civilizations. It makes sense for us to look to those countries. So please do me a favor, go and subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. Hit notification button, give us thumbs up, and of course share our broadcast. And those of you who are going to watch later, please do so. I'll be back later on. Thank you for watching. You've been listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth. I'll be back later on. Thank you, and bye for now. Bye guys. Bye. Okay, those of you on YouTube, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, give us the thumbs up, help us reach more people. We do need your support. I'll be back later on. Please do share. I know that they've really made things difficult for me. The gifting has also been suspended, restricted, So we are going to try and just continue what we're doing. Please don't forget, subscribe to Citizen AY. Like the broadcast, hit notification button, and like us in thumbs up, and of course share the broadcast. What are your thoughts? Leave your comments. We'll continue to. I will be giving you more updates about the protest that we'll be organizing. We need to be organizing that real soon, so that we can get out there and actually put pressure we demand accountability from those in governance. We're not going to abuse them. They have to account. It is in the constitution. If a military man, Ibrahim Traore, can give accountability freely, why can't the so-called democratic governance give those same accountability? That is going to show to the penny where they spent our money. You're listening to Citizen NY, the platform where we speak truth. Back later on. Thank you and bye for now. Bye. Back later on. Bye for now.